Hello! Today we are making fried rice. Alright, so first let's cut up some of our aromatics. We're gonna go with a couple stalks of green onion. Go ahead and do a little rinse. And take off the tops. Now the whites have a lot of flavor in them, so you don't want to cut off too much of the white. You want to just get the little hairs off. Then same thing with the butts. I like to cut it in half to make it a little easier for myself. If you like them thin, chop them thin. If you like it along the bigger side, cut them a little bigger side. Up to you. Next we have our cilantro. So we're just gonna take about a small handful. Go ahead and give it a rinse. Just go ahead and do a quick chop. You can run your knife through. Get a nice little mincing action going. And if you don't like cilantro, don't add it in. That's what's nice about fried rice. You can put whatever you want as long as you got some rice. I would say for sure some eggs. But again, your version of fried rice, whatever you got in your fridge, will be good. Next, we're gonna work with some shiitake mushrooms. Now with mushrooms, you usually wanna take care with it. You wanna just get like a wet paper towel and wipe off the dirt. I'm lazy, so I'm just gonna rinse it and clean it that way. You wanna just get, you know, any dirt off, any little bugs if there happens to be any. Now, shiitake stems are on the harder side to eat, so we're just gonna go ahead and pull those right out. Now you can just pull it off like this, or you can take your knife and just simply cut it off, slice it off like that. We're gonna go ahead and just slice our shiitakes into thin slices. About that thin is good. We're gonna chop up, this is a large onion, so we'll go about half of this onion. Cut the top, cut the bottom, cut in half today. Go ahead and peel away. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and dice this up into pretty small dices. So I'm gonna go along this onion, cut some thin slices. And this is when having a sharp knife is helpful, because a dull knife is what's gonna really get you crying. Turn it, and then go ahead and dice her up. Now this recipe has a lot of chopping, and we're not done yet either. We're gonna chop up some Chinese sausage. Now, if you've never had this, it's basically like a dried cured sausage. This is made with pork and chicken. So imagine jerkied hot dog, but better. Now this kind of sausage, it's already fully cooked. You're just reheating it. So, and you can do it in different ways. You can fry it, you can pan sear it, you can boil it. My grandma, she used to do this thing where she'd cut some up and put it in the rice cooker and let it steam up in the rice so that the rice has this sausage infused flavor in it. It also plumps up the sausage. Oh, it's so good. So we're just gonna take our link, and I'm just gonna do it on a slight diagonal and cut them relatively thin, because I like to get them pretty crispy, but not so thin where it's like paper. I still want it to be a little chewy on the middle. You should be able to find this product at your local Asian market. Next protein we're working with is some shrimp. Now, I did not get lucky today and had to buy shrimp with shell on. So I have an extra step of de-shelling these guys. But we're gonna de-shell them, we're gonna chop them up into smaller pieces, and we're gonna roll some music. Let's go. Now in my fried rice, I need eggs. Crack it in our bowl. And today we're using about 2 cups of our rice. So I'm gonna use 4 eggs. Now that we've chopped everything and prepped everything, we're ready to stir fry. Go ahead and we're gonna go high today. Everything will be on high. Add some extra virgin olive oil to coat the pan. Now for fried rice, you want to try to have a spatula that you can get under the rice with. So this shape is going to be your friend. If something's too flat, it's going to be hard to really like get under. So this is going to help you like stir and get underneath, all that stuff. Move that oil around. First thing we're going to do is cook our shrimp real quick. So we're going to toss that in, spread that around. And since our shrimp are in small bite-sized pieces, they should be ready real quick. Take out our shrimp. Go ahead and with our onions. To help the onions sweat, we're going to add a tiny bit of salt. And that's going to help draw out that moisture from your onion. You got to keep moving. You don't want your onion to burn. For our onion, I'm going to go ahead and throw in some of our shiitake mushrooms. Now this is a lot of shiitake, so I'm just going to use a couple handfuls. And you're going to keep stirring this, letting it cook. Allowing the mushrooms and the onions to get soft for a few minutes. We don't want anything to burn, so just keep stirring. Okay, it's been a few minutes constantly stirring this, guys. As you can see now, our onions are pretty translucent, got a little bit of brown edge. Our mushrooms are nice and soft. So what I'd like to do is make a little hole in the middle, push all of our veggies to the side, and we're gonna take our rice, and this is again day-old rice. You can use brown rice, white rice, whatever you have. And go ahead and just toss that right in the center. Start breaking it up. And this is the stage where you are frying your rice. You're allowing it to get some crispiness from the heat of the pan before adding your other ingredients. So this is when your spatula will help flatten out your rice. Like press it up against the pan, breaking it up as you go along. Let it sit for a few seconds, and then we're gonna go ahead and flip it. You can see our rice getting some color on there. I'm gonna start really breaking up that rice, making sure there's no big clumps. Stir all my veggies into my rice. Rice is flying everywhere. Oopsies. Now we're gonna add our Chinese sausage just right inside. Stir that together. Now just like we did the rice, I'm gonna go ahead and make a little hole in the center of our pan here. And I'm gonna drizzle our egg right in the center. Just drop it right in. Right when you put it in, just go ahead and start scrambling it in the middle like this. Circling around. You'll start to see that you're getting slight scrambled eggs in the middle of your pan. When you're about 40% there, we're gonna go ahead and stir it all in with the rice. And this is gonna allow you to get some parts scrambled eggs and other parts where the egg is really incorporated into the rice. Now we're gonna throw our shrimp back in, juices and all. Toss in our cilantro and our green onions. Go ahead and kill the heat. And now is when I'm gonna go ahead and add some seasoning. So I like to add soy sauce, light sodium of course. Put it on your paddle. And go ahead and just kind of drizzle it on down. 2 to 3 teaspoons or so. And this is going to add your saltiness, so we don't have to add more salt into this guy. Go ahead and stir it up. I'm going to add some white pepper. I like a lot of pepper in my fried rice. And white pepper has a very different flavor from black pepper. Black pepper has a very harsh bite. It's great for if you want a little bit of spiciness. White pepper has a more umami, earthy feeling to it. And finally, some sesame oil. Again, I use my paddle to kind of help me drizzle it everywhere. Now this is a little bit secret. Maggi sauce. I feel like if you're really Asian, you grew up with Maggi sauce. Just toss a little bit of that in there. And Maggi sauce is pretty strong, so a little goes a long way. And we're also gonna add a little bit of chili oil just to give a little heat. A couple drops. And here we have our fried rice. Thanks for joining us. Now get out of my kitchen.